Hello, Army! Welcome back to BS K-pop Vibes, your #1 source for the latest BTS updates, viral moments, and breaking stories straight from Seoul. If you love staying ahead of everything about the boys, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and now let's dive into today's story. What if everything you thought you knew was completely wrong? For the past 4 weeks, fans have been speculating, questioning, and searching for answers about what's really happening between Kim Taehyung and Jeon Jungkook. Rumors have been everywhere. The silence between them felt even louder. But now, that silence has finally been broken. In a moment no one expected, Taehyung stepped forward and addressed Jungkook directly. No filters, no vague hints, just honesty. And what he said has left many fans rethinking everything. Is this the end of the speculation or just the beginning of something bigger? The atmosphere changed the moment the clip began circulating. There was no dramatic background music, no flashy edits, just Kim Taehyung sitting calmly, wearing an expression fans hadn't quite seen before. It wasn't sadness, it wasn't anger. It was something deeper, something intentional, the kind of expression that tells you this moment truly matters. For a long time, conversations surrounding Jungkook were filled with noise, online theories, fan debates, misinterpreted interactions, each adding another layer to a story no one fully understood. Through all of it, both of them mostly remained silent, choosing distance over reaction. Until now. Taehyung didn't rush his words. He paused carefully, choosing each sentence not just for clarity, but for sincerity. And when he finally spoke, he didn't deny everything. He didn't fuel the rumors either. Instead, he did something unexpected. He acknowledged the weight of it all. Not the rumors themselves, but the pressure behind them, the misunderstandings, the way narratives grow far beyond reality when people start connecting dots that were never meant to connect. He spoke about time, about how people grow, about how relationships evolve, and how not everything meaningful needs to be explained publicly to be real. There was no defensiveness in his tone, just quiet confidence, the kind that suggests he had already made peace with the situation long before choosing to speak. And that's what impacted fans the most. This wasn't a shocking confession. There was no dramatic twist. It was something far more human, more grounded. Taehyung spoke about respect, about understanding boundaries, both personal and professional. He reminded viewers that what people see on screen is only a fraction of what truly exists behind it. At one point, he subtly addressed Jungkook, not with direct statements, but with words carrying unmistakable meaning. He spoke about trust, about shared history, about connections that don't need constant validation to remain strong. And suddenly, everything shifted. The online narrative began to feel incomplete, maybe even inaccurate. Fans who had spent weeks analyzing every interaction started reconsidering what they believed. Instead of confirming rumors, Taehyung reframed the entire conversation. He didn't give people more to speculate about, he gave them a reason to pause. As the video continued, his tone softened. There was a sense of closure, not the kind that ends a story, but the kind that clears the fog around it. He didn't ask fans to stop caring, he didn't dismiss the attention, he simply asked for understanding. And that's what made this moment powerful. In a world where everything is amplified and often misunderstood, Taehyung chose simplicity. He chose honesty over drama, clarity over mystery. By the time the clip ended, one thing was clear. This wasn't just about addressing Jungkook. It was about redefining how people see them both. It was a reminder that behind the headlines, edits, and endless speculation are real individuals living real lives beyond public view. The reaction was immediate, but not explosive. At first, there was silence, not the absence of sound, but a pause, a collective moment where fans stopped, rewound, and truly listened. Slowly, that silence turned into reflection. Old clips resurfaced, past interviews, behind-the-scenes interactions, moments that once fueled theories were now seen through a new lens. Things that seemed mysterious began to feel natural, genuine, human. Meanwhile, Jungkook remained quiet, but this time his silence felt different, intentional, almost like trust in what had already been said. There were no follow-up clarifications, no dramatic additions, and somehow that made everything clearer. Fans began realizing how easily moments can be taken out of context. A glance, a pause, a missed interaction. Not everything is a hidden clue. Sometimes it's just life unfolding. Taehyung's words didn't just address the present, they quietly challenged the past. They encouraged people to rethink how quickly assumptions are formed and how easily narratives grow without solid foundation. And gradually, something changed. The focus shifted from what's wrong to appreciating what has always been there. Years of shared experiences, growth, and individual journeys. There was maturity in how everything unfolded afterwards, less urgency to speculate, more willingness to respect boundaries. Of course, not everyone changed overnight. Some continued searching for deeper meanings. That's natural, but the overall atmosphere undeniably shifted. Because once the truth is spoken clearly, not loudly, it grounds everything else. Days passed, nothing dramatic happened, no fallout, no scandal, no hidden revelations. Life simply continued, and maybe that was the biggest answer of all. Sometimes the truth isn't explosive. Sometimes it's steady, quiet, uncomplicated. What made this moment powerful wasn't a secret being revealed, it was the illusion of a secret being removed. Taehyung didn't expose anything, he gave clarity. And that clarity led to something rare: balance. The space around both Taehyung and Jungkook began to feel lighter, not empty, just free from constant pressure. Fans reconnected with what brought them here in the first place: the music, the artistry, the authenticity. Interactions were appreciated instead of dissected, smiles were enjoyed instead of analyzed. And that shift didn't weaken the bond between fans and artists, it strengthened it. Because instead of holding on through speculation, people began holding on through respect. Respect for boundaries, respect for growth, respect for the idea that relationships don't stay frozen in time just because the world is watching. There was still small moments, familiar comfort, natural energy, unchanged connection, but those moments no longer carried the burden of needing to prove anything. They simply existed. And sometimes that's enough. Authenticity doesn't need confirmation. It doesn't need defense. It simply is. And maybe that's the true ending of this story. Not a dramatic conclusion, not a shocking reveal, just a quiet understanding that sometimes the truth isn't something you uncover, it's something you accept. And once you do, every rumor, every assumption, every unanswered question loses its weight, leaving behind only what truly matters: respect, trust, and the freedom to let things be exactly what they are.